Hey guys, in this video I'm going to explain the directions for the Virtual Soft Skills mini lesson project, which will conclude our very long unit on soft skills. We focused a lot on soft skills in this class because they truly are the building blocks to your future. So regardless of what you want to do, whether you want to be a nurse or a veterinarian, or you want to go into welding or be a teacher, you're going to need to brush up on those soft skills. And we talked about the top 10 most important ones in this class, like time management, communication, networking, respect, etc. So this project is going to give you a chance to choose one of those soft skills and be the teacher for it. So you can actually be the teacher and plan a lesson for one of those soft skills. So you have the choice of working by yourself or working with another student from our 8th period Building Bridges class. And since we are on virtual instruction, unfortunately you will not be teaching these lessons live for our classmates, but I will display your activities that you make for the project, and they will be bonus opportunities for you and for your classmates. So let's talk about the steps of this project. So the first step would have been to send me the soft skills partner request form that I sent last week through Canvas and also through Remind, and let me know what your top 3 choices are for the soft skill that you pick. And then I will email you back with the soft skill that you are assigned and your partner if you have one. Once you have that information, then you can begin your lesson plan. And your lesson plan is located on Canvas. It is called Soft Skills Mini Lesson Plan. It looks like this. So I'm going to explain each section so you understand what it means. This first section is pretty basic. You're going to come up with a creative name for your lesson, and you're going to put your name and your partner's name if you have one. And then your learning target is basically just one sentence about what your goal for the lesson is, what you want your students to know by the end of the lesson. And this is a standard thing that all teachers have to put in their lesson plans. In the materials needed section, this is where you would put any technology that either you or your students need to teach this lesson. So for example, a TV, an iPad, handouts, etc. What do they need and what do you need? Successful lessons always begin with a bell ringer and a hook. So that's what you're going to plan out in the lesson introduction. If you guys notice in class, when you come in the room, there's always a bell ringer for you on the TV. So the bell ringer is what you want your students to do as they're beginning your lesson. And the hook is how you're going to grab their attention. How are you going to get them interested in the soft skill that you're teaching? Some of the most popular hook methods are to display a quote about your soft skill, maybe ask a question, do a brief survey through Kahoot or through a Google form, or to show an image or a meme. The next section of the lesson plan is the method. So basically you're going to plan out how you're going to present the required information on this soft skill to your students. So it can be, anything from Google Slides, Keynote. You can make a handout using Google Docs. You can make a Prezi presentation. It's up to you. Be creative. So this is the information that's going to be required in that presentation. So basically all you need is a definition of your soft skill. So you're going to put it right here in the lesson plan first, and then you'll also put it in the presentation. Tell me why this skill is important, both in life and in your career, and then 4 strategies to strengthen this soft skill. As far as where to get the strategies, you could get some of the strategies from your soft skills strategy sheet if you have one of the strategies that we did before we went on virtual instruction, or you can just simply search online for strategies to strengthen blank skills, strategies to strengthen communication skills, and write them there. So then there's the procedure section of your lesson plan. This is basically an interactive activity that you're going to plan and create for your students to do to help learn about your soft skill, like some kind of a worksheet or a Kahoot or a Quizlet, something that they would actually have to do. So tell me about what it's going to be and how will you make it enjoyable for your students. A successful lesson has a really strong closure, and a closure is going to help your students remember what you taught in that lesson. So what could be an interesting or memorable way to conclude your soft skill lesson? So maybe something like a survey, a quick thumbs up, thumbs down. You don't actually have to make this part for your project, but what would you do? Once you're done with your lesson plan, you're going to submit it on Canvas here under the lesson plan assignment. If you're working with a partner, only one lesson plan needs to be turned in per group, and whoever turns it in, that grade will count for both of you. Okay, now we're on to step number 3 of the project, which is to create all materials for your lesson, like the presentations, handouts, activities. For the presentation, you don't have to use these 2 applications, but many students choose to use either Keynote or Google Docs or Google Slides to create a nice handout or a nice presentation on their soft skill. After you create your presentation, then you're going to create some sort of interactive activity for your students that's going to let them experience the soft skill. So this might be an interactive Kahoot with questions on your soft skill, or a Quizlet or a worksheet. It's up to you. Be creative. The final step of the project, which is step number 4, is to check over the rubric and make sure you have everything, and then to turn in the project. So let me show you how to do that. The rubric is located on Canvas under the assignment called Soft Skills Lesson Project, and the document is called Virtual Rubric. The lesson plan which you already turned in was worth 25 points, and the rest of the project is worth 50 points, so it's a total of 75 points. So I'm going to be grading your presentation, your activity, all the materials to make sure they're professional and neat and there's no spelling or grammar errors. Remember, you are a teacher. Of course, teachers do make errors as well. I'm also going to be grading you on your level of creativity for the project. Just because you're not in school and presenting this to your classmates doesn't mean that you shouldn't do your best to be creative. This is, of course, something that you could always talk about in a job interview and really impress the person who is interviewing you. Also, you will be graded on your preparedness. So you must send all materials to me by the deadline of Friday, April 24th. So once you complete and turn in the lesson plan, you create your presentation, which is a handout or keynote, and then you create your activity, then you're pretty much done with everything and you just have to turn it in on Canvas. And here's where you turn it in. You turn it into the Soft Skills Lesson Project, and you want to upload any PDFs that you have created, like in Google Docs or in Keynote. Or if there is a link to a Kahoot, you can also turn in a URL to this project. Remember, if you work with a partner on this, only one presentation and one activity needs to be turned in per group. So if you're splitting it up, maybe one person can turn in the presentation and the other can turn in the activity. You may be thinking right now, I have no idea what to do for this project. So I'm going to give you some examples from some students from last semester. One of my groups that did teamwork actually had all the students in the class do this team building game where they had to communicate to each other how to stand up when their arms were interlocked. So everyone had fun with that. Another group created a respect bingo card, and they led the class through a respect bingo game. Another group did a blindfolding activity where they communicated to each other how to get from one side of the room to another. One group for stress management led the class in a guided breathing exercise. Another group did a positivity jar where they had to collect positive affirmations from everyone in the class, and then they read them. And here's Jordan and Zach doing a Kahoot. So I know a lot of these things that I just showed you, you cannot necessarily do online, but there's ways that you can plan out the instructions for them and then turn that in. Or, think of what some of your other teachers are doing right now during this virtual instruction time. I know a lot of them are being creative in ways to present different activities to you. So think of some things that they are doing, and you can do them as well. This is the biggest project in Building Bridges this year. So good luck with everything. Have fun with it. Remember, you're the teacher. You get to make all the decisions about how you would teach your soft skill, and just have fun with it.